Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yvette Quale. I like to create craft tutorials for journaling, beadwork, paper crafting, and more. In today's video, I've got a couple things going, but this is a hashtag Yvette's Bead Club video, so we will be doing a beaded project in this video. So I am doing this in collaboration with NJJM Creative Tutorials and More on Facebook. Hashtag Yvette's Bead Club will bring up all of my videos that have to do with this particular group and my bead project for the group. And I post a video the first Monday of each month for this bead club. So the bead club is something where we make an item. I show you how to make it. You make the item, post pictures in the group. And then if you want to do individual swaps with people, that's up to you to work out the details for that. So in today's video, I am working on a journal. I've done the cover, so I have a piece together slow stitched cover. I'm putting the beaded trim around the edge. This is not what we're showing today, but I'm showing you what I'm doing with this journal. So I have all the signatures in. I have all the cover in. I need to decorate it up still, but I'm in the process here. I'm being very careful because I have a needle and thread up here. I'm still in the process of putting the beaded trim all the way around the outside. But I wanted to make a beaded element for the cover, and that's going to be this little heart. So what I did was I cut this out of felt. You can see here it's just a felt piece. I put a piece of white muslin over the top, a little piece of lace runs through here, and then I just stitched down a whole bunch of white buttons. And I thought what I would do is embellish this heart with some of the same beads that I'm putting around the edge, but I wanted to do that on camera, and this will be our project. So you don't have to do a heart, you can do any shape that you want. And for the Yvette's Bead Club, go ahead and embellish it however you want, and then just add the beads like I'm going to show you in the video here. So let's put this aside gently so I don't lose my thread. And what I've got is I've already got my thread here ready to go because I don't like doing that on camera because it sometimes takes a moment, especially now that I'm older. It takes things longer with my eyesight. So what I've done is I've got a piece of Nymo thread. I have a large spool here. This is, let me feel that. That's probably about a B size, I would say. And that's NYMO. It's a beading thread, any kind of beading thread, and probably for this project you could use any thin sewing thread, but I would double it. I did double this thread. It's very, very strong. And one thing you want to do when you pull the Nymo off of the spool, or it comes in little spools like this as well in colors, go ahead and give that a little bit of a tug just to get that extra curl out of it, and then it won't knot up so much on you. Now on the cover here I am using, I don't know if you can see that on camera, I'm using a colored thread. Now you do want to be sure that if you have translucent beads, that whatever thread you choose, you're okay with that thread showing through. For this project, because this has a white background, I'm going to use the white thread, even though I do have translucent beads. The bead color might be slightly different than the beads on the trim, because the bead on the trim I have a caramel colored thread, but I didn't want to do the caramel colored thread to show on the white work, so that's why I'm using a white thread. So these are just seed beads. I've mixed them up. There's some bugle beads in there too. I'm not going to use those. You could if you wanted to. I'm going to stay with the seed beads. I've just tied a knot in the end of this, so the thread is doubled. I tied a knot, and we're just going to go in the back somewhere on our piece. We're going to come up, and I'm going to show you a couple of things we can do here. So you can just put a bead on, any one that you want. Just come up through the piece and really close to it, but not in the same spot, or it'll just go right out. Go down through. And you want to make sure that both of your threads are pulled evenly so that you don't have a loop on there. So I don't know if you can see that on there. Okay, so we'll do that a couple times here. We're just going to come up through. And you kind of want it to, look good, but it's not real particular where you come up. I hope you guys can understand me. I've been sick a couple days here, so we'll just come up through here and come back down. So I've had some kind of sinus infection or something going on. And of course I went and had a test, you know, for what you have to test for these days, and I'm fine. But okay, so we're going to come up. Let's go up right in here. Hope you guys can see this. I got to make sure I stay on film. Sometimes I keep going and forget what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to do another technique here. So go ahead and put, like, I usually start out with 4 or 5. I like to start with 5 because it's an odd number. So just put 5 beads on there. We're going to slide them down. And we're going to lay them down along. You can see this piece of lace in there. So we're just going to kind of lay them along. You're going to go down right in front of that last bead that you put on. Make sure you don't split the threads. You don't want to go between the threads. You want to go next to the thread. I always keep my thread to the right as I work, then it stays out of my way. I'm right-handed. So we're going to take that, you're going to pull it down. You want to pull it pretty tight, and you're going to come up between the 3rd and the 4th bead on the left side. So hope you can see that right in there. And you're going to pull that out. Make sure it's tight. And you're going to do what's called couching over. Now, couching over is in between the the 3rd and the 4th bead. You're going to come down now on the right side of those beads, and you're going to angle your needle in. This is important, especially if you're on the edge and you're going to be cutting later. So you're just going to push that in, and what that's going to do, so you have the thread running this way, then you've come up through on the left side, and you've couched over the thread, and you're going to go down at an angle on the right side, and that's going to pull those beads together and keep them lying flat. So instead of just continuing like we did here and putting one on and one on and one on and having a space in between, this allows you to have a whole bunch of beads in a row and have them nice and neat and tight. So the next step is you're going to come back up through with your needle to right here with the first bead that you put on down here. Okay, and what you're going to do is pull that thread all the way through, and you're going to go through, and you're just going to pick up kind of the top layer of the bead on top of the hole, I call it, or you know, above the thread, and you're just going to go through all 5 of those beads. Okay, so you're like this, and you just want to make sure you haven't caught any of the threads underneath or any of the material underneath. Okay, you're going to pull that through, and you'll feel it cinches that down. Those are locked in place now. Now from now on we're going to put 2 beads on. Some people put 5 or 6. My mom has been a bead artist for many years, and she taught me to put 2 on because then you have more control over how you get those beads on there. And especially if you're going around something, like if we were to go around this little pearl, 2 beads at a time is going to make it much more smooth around that little pearl. So we can go in, you're going to come down just in front of the last bead you put on. You're going to pull it down. And see how that just lays flat? You're going to come up between the 2nd and 3rd. So you put those 2 beads on. You're going to come up toward you. It's hard to explain. So you got the last 2 beads that you put on, and you're going to come up between that first bead that you just put on and the bead, the last of the 5 beads ahead of it. Okay, so you're going to come up here, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to come right down on that side of it, angle in, and pull it. Now, you got to make sure that these threads go down in between those beads. So you're just going to watch and pull until that happens. Okay? So the next step is you're going to go back 5 beads. So we've got the 2 we put on, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you're going to come up on the left side of that bead, and you're going to go through 5 beads. 1, 2, oops, 1, 2, 3 that's hiding from me, 4, and that last one is sometimes hard because it wants to go down because when you pulled it down. So just go through the 4 and then go through the last one if that happens. Okay, and you're going to pull this again, making sure that those threads, I hope that's clear, go right in there. Okay, so let's do that again. You're going to put 2 more beads on. We're going to slide them down. Now, as you get more accustomed to doing this, you know, maybe you're not going to want to slide them down. I still slide them down because I want to make sure that I'm putting that needle right at the end of that bead. Okay, you're going to pull that down. You're going to come up to the left, 2 beads, first bead and the second one there. So between the second and third going this way, make sure your thread is tight on the back. Angle in and pull it tight. Right like that. Now see, you want that thread to go right in there. You're going to go back 5 beads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that little green one there. Oh, the one that gave me a problem. Okay, we're going to go up through that bead and up through the next ones. Yeah, he's going to give me a problem. You might have too small of a hole. So if that happens, just go to the next one. You're close enough there. If not, if you weren't close enough, you can go back down through and pull it back up. So it's not going to mess us up too bad. So make sure you get a hole big enough on your bead. That little guy had a little hole in there. All right, so we're going to put 2 more beads on. Slide them down. Making sure you don't go through the thread or split the thread. Go down through. And if you have these buttons on there, the thread might get caught around it. That's fine. Just go slow. Sometimes if you go too fast, that's when you get problems. So you're going to come up to the left of the second bead there. And between that second and third bead, you're going to go down on the right side and pull it down. Okay, you're going to go back 5 beads. Come up on the left. And you could come up on the right. I just go left because I'm a left to right kind of person, and it helps me remember what I'm doing. Plus that way I can pull that thread out of the way and go through all 5 beads there. Okay, and you're just going to continue like that. That's how you make a line of beads that are nice and flat. So I hope you guys got all that. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments. I'll try to answer them. I do appreciate you watching, and my next video will be the announcement for my 500 subscriber giveaway. We've reached my goal. Thank you so much for everybody who's subscribed, and I'll go ahead and detail out what I'll be giving away in my 500 subscriber celebration. Anyway, I wasn't planning to say that, so I guess I said it. Anyway, have a great day. Thank you.